Testing, testing.
No.
Okay, go ahead and introduce our first guest.
Your first guest? I mean, our first.
Oh,
Yeah, he's our
goddamn.
first guest. Yeah. That's
Go
right.
ahead. Go ahead and introduce our third guest.
Our third guest. Our third guest is Cory Martinez. He's a checkmat black belt.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I know.
Hmm.
Makes it. We have to say checkmat because I don't want to get him upset.
Yeah, don't upset me.
Yeah. I don't want to call him something else.
Yes.
Corey was our first coach, or my first coach.
He was your first coach?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
I
my
know.
first coach.
He was my second coach.
Yeah. I mean,
Second coach.
Corey does a bunch of cool shit. Besides beat the shit out of us, or at least me. Yeah, and I don't know. We wanted to have him on.
He's a cool guy. Before we start, I do have a present for you. It is our first ever Thick Boy Mafia shirt. Can y'all see that?
That's
This is
dope.
for you, Doug.
That's dope.
Yeah, let
That's
me get
dope.
this over to you.
I'll wear that today.
Oh, you
Yeah.
actually have to take off your current shirt and put that one on.
Oh, okay.
That's for you, Doug.
That's what's up, man. Well, thank you, man.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
We'll start our merch line of Thick Boy merch soon. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll
that's
be
for
a
you.
customer
Thank you.
for sure.
For sure.
He's like.
So can he not buy any since he's like not a thick boy anymore?
No,
Yeah.
no, he can't.
Oh,
yeah.
is there like a weight?
It's
It's
Do
like
you
a
have
two,
to
I
put
think
in
it's
your weight?
I don't know,
200, at least 200 pounds.
Well, add like an S or something, like slim
Yeah,
thick, slim
yeah.
thick
It's
or
like a
something.
Yeah.
thick, but instead of two C's, it's one.
Oh, we could do that. You know,
Yeah,
put
you
an
know.
S, put like a
Yeah.
small S on like
Yeah.
the TBM.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a thick in spirit.
Thick in spirit.
Yeah,
It's a vibe. That's what it is. That's what I saw. You still have the thick boy.
yeah. It's still in
Mafia
there.
vibe.
Yeah, I had 3 tamales for dinner last night. Yeah.
So, Corey, dude, like, we don't know much about your past and like your growing up. Can you tell us like your childhood?
My childhood?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was born in Watsonville. It's kind of random, I guess.
That's like up in the hills of the Bay Area.
No, it's more towards the coast, kind of like near Santa Cruz. I would say it's probably
Oh.
like maybe 20 minutes from Santa Cruz. From what
Okay.
I remember. I only lived there for probably like 5 or 6 years. I think I went to like kindergarten there. I like have like faint memories of it. You know, like the little bits in here and there.
Yeah.
But then my family moved to Hollister, so I spent like the majority of my life there. Like I think I lived in Hollister till I was probably 22, 23 or something like that. And then I moved to San Jose. So I started just with work and stuff. It was made a little easier to make the move over there. And yeah, it's pretty much. And then 6 years ago, I moved here. So it's kind of been a little bit everywhere in California.
Do I mean mostly Bay Area and then like just Central
Yeah.
California?
Yeah.
Cali boy, still Cali boy.
Yeah.
Do you do like any sports or anything like that in high school or elementary or anything like that?
No, not really, man. I mean, in high school, I played like a little bit of football for like a little bit, but you know, it was like more into like that party mode.
Oh,
I was in
okay.
high school stuff.
Yeah,
I wanted
see-
to drink and go out with my friends.
See, 'cause
Smoke.
you're so athletic. I would think you did like a bunch of sports. Like,
Yeah, no. I mean, I did a little. Remember when like skateboarding was popular and stuff.
Oh, you
so
did
I did that for
skateboarding.
like
Oh.
a couple years.
Oh, yeah, I
but
could see
that's-
that. Surfing? You did?
Yeah.
Did you do surfing?
No,
No?
man. Actually, I'm fucking scared of the ocean.
Are you
That's what-
sharks?
Yeah, sharks, dude.
Like sharks.
Is it
Yeah.
the vastness of the open water that freaks you out?
Yeah, man. I mean, just like, come on, let's be real. If there's a shark in there, you're not gonna do anything. It's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude. Yeah, well, I was watching
no matter what.
like the top 5 with my son, my oldest. He's like into that right now.
Yeah.
Like top 5 deadliest animals, and one of those, of course, is a shark. And dude, the whole thing is muscle. Like the whole thing of a shark is freaking muscle.
Dude, it's crazy
what's
how many
crazy.
teeth they have.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, can't get in 1v1.
Yeah.
Can't pull guard. Can't.
Yeah.
No.
Fuck the,
Can't
fuck the
swing.
ocean, man.
I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think. So you never been to the ocean, like the beach,
Yeah, of course I've been to the ocean. Of
But,
course. Yeah.
but surfing.
Yeah.
He's
I've
like-
always, yeah. I mean, that's funny because like growing up, like I was, like we'd always go to the beach, just because it's so close to us. It's like Watsonville is like 15 minutes, 20-minute drive from the beach, and then even in when I was in Hollister is like 35, 40 minutes. So we'd always go there for like 4th of July and just like summer and stuff. And I mean, I'd go in the water a little bit. I mean, I was never a good swimmer, so I never swam it
Oh,
or
okay.
anything like that, But I always hang out at the beach and stuff. But as I got older and like, I'm just like. I'm good off that. I'm good off.
I think that's
know,
why he
getting my-
moved into the Central Valley to stay away from the water.
Yeah, I mean it's a little harder to get there, I guess. But yeah. Other sports, I mean, not really nothing. Um, it's funny. Like I have to be. I notice like about myself. Like I have to be like very um, into that sport to like commit myself. Like and I was always like interested in UFC. Always like growing up watching
Mm-hmm.
UFC, boxing and stuff with my family. Like growing up, I always remember getting together watching like the old boxing matches, like Oscar De La
Mm-hmm.
Hoya, Trinidad, and stuff like that. And I mean, I love that stuff. I love watching it. And then it just so happened in Hollister, a kickboxing gym opened up. Like I think I was like maybe 19. Opened up right around from where I lived, and so me and my cousin actually we went and tried it out, and yeah, I fell in love with it. They had they just did no-gi grappling there, so there was no jiu-jitsu. It was just no-gi grappling, a little bit of wrestling, and mostly kickboxing. And so that's when like I first got like my I dived into anything athletic for like at least consistently.
See, yeah, that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I don't know. I think you're hella athletic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Explosive as hell.
yeah, you have like all these like good qualities, to be athletic. Did you get any fights when you were a kid? When you were younger? Or
Mm,
you?
I mean, little scuffles, but nothing like serious.
Uh,
Like, I mean, like at parties, drunk and like,
oh, okay, yeah.
fights are breaking out and stuff. And it's never like, anything, not consistent. I don't like fighting every week, like, high school and stuff.
It's just a random here or anomalies.
Oh, me? Yeah, I guess. Anomaly.
I never been into a fight. I
Yeah.
never been into a
It's like,
physical
I don't,
altercation.
I
Like
don't,
playing basketball at like the park, it would happen once in a while, but nothing crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I
no.
don't know. I never consider myself like this super athletic guy or anything. I just enjoy training. You know, I focused on that. I never thought like I was super explosive or fast or anything like that. But because even like starting out, like I wasn't like super good or anything. I think I just put the time in, and like eventually, like I got more technical and stuff, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
that highlighted like eventually like my athletic attributes like kind of shine through. But for the most part, like I think it was me building my skill up is kind of showed those things. Like the longer I dedicated my time to, especially kickboxing was like the first one for me. Like it kind of showed me, I can take this far. Is this? I mean, jujitsu is kind of like I would say the least tough out of all the mixed martial arts. So like kickboxing and stuff like that, it's where you have to get hit and take
Mm-hmm.
damage every sparring session and stuff. It really shows you like what your mental strength is and what you can do. Like what you're capable of and what you can put yourself through, and that kind of like set me up, I think, for like the rest of my martial arts career because. I mean, everything jujitsu is like so much easier than having to get sparring with like
Right,
kickboxing and
sparring.
MMA and stuff like that.
So I like I've never actually sparred with someone who knows what they're doing. Kind, I guess. But
Hmm.
it's more like backyard stuff with friends and stuff like
Yeah.
that. How does it compare to? Because I've gotten like kneed to like the head hella hard, right? In
Yeah.
jujitsu.
Yeah.
Um, how does that like that? Can I take a? Basically, I'm trying to ask. Do you think I could take a shot if I could take a knee to the head from jujitsu? How does that compare into like
Yeah.
sparring?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, if you'll see this in like jiu-jitsu too, like like where guys will get hit and or like you take a knee or something, it happens. You know what I
Uh
mean?
huh.
But there's guys who just keep training, not say anything, keep training, and there's guys who are gonna make a big fuss about it.
I
And
make a big fuss.
we've seen it. We've seen our guys make a big fuss about it, and that's like the thing with striking.
Yeah.
It's like no one likes to get hit, but the difference is not letting it bother you.
Mm.
Like, are you gonna take a big shot and just continue to play it off and keep sparring, or are you gonna, like jujitsu, if you take a shot and just make a big fuss, I'm like, oh my god,
Or I
like you
get
need
upset
me,
or whatever. Yeah, I get upset.
yeah, like so. I mean, and it's like in jiu-jitsu, shit happens. It's live training, and it kind of bugs me, it kind of irks me too when guys make a big fuss and like
Right.
it's like, come on, man. I mean,
We're
we're going
rolling.
live.
Yeah, it's
There's
gonna
gonna be
happen.
accidents. It's not like I'm doing this intentionally,
Right.
and I think yeah. I mean, if you can see that in yourself, where like you don't let it bother you, you'll. I mean, you have that piece,
Okay.
because you'll see guys like in sparring and stuff, like especially when they're starting out, they'll like almost like tense up when they get hit, or when the
Mm.
punches are coming, they'll tighten up. But it's like you need to be relaxed, you need to be hit and keep moving, be ready to get in that exchange, or counter or move or whatever. But if you freeze, that's like a bad sign.
Yeah, yeah. I seen like a guy kickboxer. I don't. He's on YouTube. he says like sometimes you can't tense up all the time, right? You can't
Yeah.
like at every shot. Sometimes you're gonna have to eat a shot,
Yeah,
and you
for
have to be
sure.
relaxed. And I was like, I
Yeah.
never really thought about that, but yeah,
Yeah.
because I never been in like
There's
sparring.
only one Floyd Mayweather, man, and he still gets hit every now and
Yeah,
then.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even by Connor, he took a left from Connor, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he gets hit.
For sure.
You're gonna get hit.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
All right.
Right. So we're talking about Mike Tyson right now.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not young not young Mike
Like
Tyson.
like current Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Do you think you could take him in an MMA match?
Oh man.
And,
I mean, you're talking about. I would say, like.
so he's strictly a boxer, right?
Yeah.
And you have good takedowns.
I mean, his technique is so good. He's short. He's gonna be hard. Even taking him down is gonna be hard because
But
he's got the lower stature.
right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, God, you got to keep your hands up for those couple seconds till you close distance, till you clinch up.
Yeah, yeah. Or
But,
pull guard, right?
I mean, yeah,
Even then.
I wouldn't pull guard. I mean, I
Right,
guess strategy wise, fuck, man. I mean, you'd have to shoot a single on that lead leg. And,
Right.
and,
But see,
you
like
know,
they have like boxer stance, they have a pretty
low stance.
Open.
Yeah.
but like their right foot is forward or whatever, like
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah,
it is.
yeah,
I don't
for
know,
sure.
left foot. I think
And
is
even
what
like
boxing.
close up, like
God,
he's really good.
really
Yeah.
good, really good hooks, uppercuts.
You just got to take one shot.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. I mean, I would like to say so.
See,
It's fucking Mike Tyson. Though.
I know that's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I mean?
So like, the current Mike Tyson right now, not young Mike Tyson, because I think I'd be more scared. Of course, you'd be more scared of young Mike Tyson.
I'm still scared of
Yeah.
that.
I think if I could take Mike Tyson down, which I think is, I have a 50-50 shot of doing so, I think I could beat him in an MMA match.
Yeah.
Am I wrong for that?
No, I think you're right. I think so. I think your style actually plays a little better.
Yeah.
Just because I mean your stature and stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're a better wrestler than I am.
But see, I think you have good wrestling too. I think you'll be able to take him down
Yeah.
with like a snatch single or even a
Yeah.
double leg,
Yeah, for sure.
What about like an ankle pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
no. Well, see, like that's kind of opening up. Like
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
That's,
Yeah.
Well, I guess a single leg too.
Yeah.
What's the one that you do to me where you just quickly like grab my ankle when we first start? You would always do it to me.
It's probably an ankle pick.
Yeah.
Is it when I pull
Well,
on you?
you
and
just
then
know
push
you
it up?
like shoot for the like you grab my heel and then you put your
Oh,
shoulder.
the
into-
low single.
Yeah, low single.
Low single.
But he
Yeah.
could just
Right.
hit you in the back of the head.
But does he see? But he doesn't practice this. He doesn't practice the takedown. If you get on top, you'll exhaust him to the point of submission, right?
Yeah.
Like he's strong enough to like evade some submissions.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about it more is like, yeah, I would probably go single like body lock. Once I feel like I got a
Yeah.
body lock on him, then I mean, I was not gonna break my body lock. I think.
Right. See,
And then I can drag him down. As long as once I get him to the mat, if he's on his back, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to submit him or
Right. See,
get
that's
him
what-
tired,
right.
until I submit him. Or
And you
even
could do punch
or in
too,
MMA,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
we're talking MMA rules, not
yeah,
boxing
MMA
rules,
rules.
right?
Yeah, it's different. It's very different, and I think even when I was like my time at AKA and stuff, like I started there as a white belt, and then like the more I was always I guess more into jiu-jitsu, so like I guess I started off a kickboxer and then I went more into jiu-jitsu as I got into AKA. So but once I started sparring with guys that didn't have any jiu-jitsu and even like my lower level jiu-jitsu, it was fucking night and day, like especially with punches, like it makes your jiu-jitsu so much better, man. It's like you could pass anybody's guard when you're raining down punches on them,
Right. Oh, that's
But they
true,
got to
yeah.
keep their hands up.
Uh-huh.
It makes it so much easier. It makes jiu-jitsu easier, man. And even then I wasn't as good as I am now. And like these guys had some skill, some MMA skill, and I could, I was giving it to them on the mat, once they got to their back, got them down, and yeah. So I think if he doesn't have any experience, it's gonna be, it's always like a rude awakening for people, especially on the mat.
Yeah,
They get
yeah.
so tired. They
Yeah.
get so tired so
Yeah.
fast. So
But even me, like I have wrestling experience and jujitsu was a rude awakening too. Like hey, there's like there's one portion of jujitsu, and now Mike Tyson doesn't have any,
Yeah.
like
he's also
does he have a
50 years
takedown
old.
defense? Yeah, exactly, right.
But what if he's on shrooms?
Even better.
He just like thinks he's a demon or
Yeah.
something. He's like fighting you
Yeah.
off hard.
Did you guys see that altercation he had when he was in the airplane?
Oh,
Or
that
you
guy.
beat that guy up.
Yeah.
Those punches still look pretty hard. I was like,
No, I
serious?
saw.
hey,
I
but
saw a video of him.
Did that
I
guy
think-
take it? Did the guy
He
take the
he
shot?
took it, he
See,
took
the
it,
guy
yeah,
took
he
it.
took
Yeah,
it,
see,
yeah.
we could take one.
No,
Oh,
punch.
yeah,
I saw that
yeah,
video of
yeah.
him like hitting a bag, like about a year ago, and it
Yeah.
still looked really scary.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, when he's hitting mitts,
Yeah.
it's like, fudge,
Yeah, I
man.
guess you have to go in it knowing you're. I mean, making
Probably
sure
gonna
you
have to-
don't stand up at all. You try to get it to the mat ASAP.
Yeah, yeah.
You
You
know?
can
Close
see
that
butt skating to
distance.
him.
So, you would be winning a match against. Can you say it? Can you say it on the mic?
You always say it? Yeah, I think I could beat him.
Yeah, see it. Yeah, I think
I
so
also
too.
got 20 years.
Right.
Younger than him.
Have you guys seen the freaking guy from Tulare, like the Olympian, the silver medalist boxing?
Is that the one that's doing really good right now?
Yeah, he's like doing really good.
No, I haven't seen him.
He just big old heavyweight, like but like evenly proportioned guy, just big old dude,
Yeah.
freaking knocking people out.
Yeah,
Like,
they were talking about him at my job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's really good.
Yeah.
I would be more scared of fighting him than I would of Mike Tyson right now. Well, it's like he's like 20 something.
Yeah,
you know?
a little sharper. Little
Yeah,
faster
yeah,
reflexes.
yeah. That would be a harder match, I think. I
Yeah.
think that'd be a harder match.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if you took it like, if you went into that fight thinking as a wrestling match, I mean, the posture alone is going to throw him off, you know?
True.
You know, if you go in there trying to, with your hands up like you're going to strike with him, I mean, that's his domain. He knows that range so well, you know? Like, if you change your levels like you're going to wrestle, it's already going to throw him off, you know? He's already going to be, I think, on the back foot, you know? He's not going to be as aggressive.
Right. Yeah, because he's gonna be nervous too, right? If you think about it, like if
Yeah.
in a hypothetical setting, he's gonna be nervous
Yeah,
too, right?
yeah.
Like he's gonna be cautious of that takedown, and
Yeah.
he's not gonna be as explosive. So
And they don't understand our range too, as far as wrestling
True.
goes too. You know,
True.
You know
Yeah.
where our shot distance is.
Your
you know,
guys' range.
you got to take down. Yeah.
as soon as they're in that shot range, you know, it's go time. You know, you're going to be on their legs, and that changes everything. They're not going to be able to punch you as well as soon as
Yeah.
you're touching their legs. You know.
Yeah. How did you get into MMA? Can you get closer to the mic too?
Yeah. Sorry. Like that gym that I went to in Hollister that I was talking about, the one that opened up. I started doing kickboxing there, and I had my first couple fights for kickboxing, and then MMA was.
So you had kickboxing fights?
Yeah, I had a kickboxing fight.
A
A kickboxing fight. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and then I did a smokers. I don't know if you guys know what smokers are.
like
when
a
you go to
gym or
gyms
something like
and
that.
stuff
Yeah, that was like before. I think in California, I don't know if we're the only ones who have Camo, the amateur organization. It's called Camo. It's like the amateur MMA organization. So like when I started, that Camo wasn't around, so we'd only really have smokers. So like another gym would come and we'd match each other up. So I had smoker fights and a kickboxing fight, and then Camo came around and MMA started getting more popular, and then that's when I started doing MMA there. And I started at Hollister, like I had my first amateur fight, and I'm pretty sure I fought on the first Camo card, which is like it was in this town in like a little south of Salinas. I can't remember the name.
I wonder
now.
if we can find that.
Yeah,
I told
Yeah.
I told him like to bring it. Like I want to watch him.
I was like 19 or 20, so this is like 15 years ago now,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But yeah, it was like one of the first amateur fights in California. I won by decision. I fought some super gangster dude from Salinas.
George Cory Martinez.
How many tattoos?
Now he's
It
from
was so
Miami. Yeah.
funny. It was so funny because, like, you know, I'm from Hollister, and Salinas is known for being like super ghetto and super
Uh-huh.
gangster, right? And we get to the fights, you know, and like obviously the whole crowd is like pretty much cholo, you know, and like there's our small group of Hollister guys, you know, and everybody else is for Salinas, you know, the Salinas guy that I'm fighting, and you know, they announce him and everything like that, and during his announcement, they're announcing his name, he's throwing up like fours and stuff, you know, like hella what they do, you know what I mean? I was like,
Let's
okay,
talk to
whatever.
brother.
But I was already, you know, like when you're in fight mode, it's like a dude, whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
you're like,
I don't
oh,
care.
yeah.
I don't care what you rep. You know, I'm still gonna beat your ass in there.
You just got to get to that car a little bit faster.
Yeah. It was so funny. Like some of my teammates were saying, like, yeah, they're thinking about jumping you guys, and after, because me and another guy from our gym were fighting these two guys from Salinas, so it was like, you know, we're both beating up these, you know, they're Salinas Cholo guys. You know, we both won, so yeah, we dipped out right away.
Corey's all leaving with like a blanket on his
Yeah,
head.
that security lock.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson's coming at him.
Yeah. So that was like my first intro into like MMA, and then like I was probably there for maybe like 3 or 4 years. I think I started, and then I got a job opportunity in San Jose, and it worked out because like in like the Bay Area, it's like AK is like the huge gym that everybody wants to go to, and all the best guys are there. Kane was popular. Uh,
Who?
Kane Velasquez,
Oh,
John
okay, Velasquez.
Fitch, Josh Koscheck, Mike Swick, Josh Thompson, like all these. Like this is back then.
Big
Like all
names.
these guys were huge
There's a
back
little
then.
all the big
Yeah,
names.
these were all like top 10, guys in the world, and they're like right there, 45
Dang.
minutes away training. And
Yeah.
everybody like, if you want to take it serious, that's like kind of the place to go to. And so yeah, I had that job opportunity to move out to San Jose, and I jumped on it. I left my girlfriend at the time, and like, I moved away from my family and stuff, most of my friends, and started everything new, and it worked out. Like, yeah, the first day I went there, I met Javier Mendez. He's like the head coach of AKA, and I told him where I came from, like, cause my coach in Hollister, he was a really good kickboxing coach, and he was somewhat affiliated with Javier Mendez. Like they had trained back in the day,
Right,
so like
right.
once I told him I trained with him, he was like, "Oh yeah, you can totally, you obviously have a good coach. You can be on our amateur team, but you do have to start jujitsu." He's like, "If you're on the amateur team, you have to train in the gi." And I was like, "Oh shit," and like
Yeah.
it was so funny, like when I was doing MMA at the other gym, like we always like watch guys like Marcelo Garcia, the no-gi guys, and we never even thought about like watching gi because it was like it never thought it like correlated to MMA, like it was always like kind of like this sport that nobody like it's only useful in jiu-jitsu, it's not useful in MMA because the gi.
Right, right.
But like they made us, Hav was saying like you have to train in the gi, and I was like, okay, whatever. I bought the gi and I started doing like gi once or twice a week, and that's when I met like my professor Leandro Vieira. That's where I met him, and and I started doing jiu-jitsu and MMA. So I would do like um, my MMA sparring like 5:30 to 7, and then like 7 to I think it was 8:30 or 9. I do jiu-jitsu with Leandro. So I'd have like a 4 hour training
Damn,
session.
yeah.
We do like our drills, then we'd spar, and then I'd go upstairs because it was 2-story gym. Go upstairs and do the jiu-jitsu class, and I think I would do that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then like Tuesday, Thursday, I would do like pads or another jiu-jitsu class. Like I hit pads with a boxing coach or kickboxing coach, and then I'll do jiu-jitsu. So I was training like 5 to 6 days a week back then, and like so like I could train MMA and jiu-jitsu, and that's how like I could see like over time I could see which one I liked more, and after a while like um, MMA just seemed like really repetitive to me. Like it always seemed like the same thing, different combination or different takedown or like a different combination to different takedown or vice versa. It's just like very similar. You're not gonna learn so much, whereas like jiu-jitsu, you're learning something in every class, and you're able to go hard and like you're not so beat up, and like doing both for like a long period of time, I was able to realize like I like jiu-jitsu a lot more, and like I love sparring, like that time I was like in my young 20s, so like
Right, right.
I just had more testosterone or something because I just wanted to like I just
Hey,
wanted to
that's
hit
probably true.
yeah, I wanted to hit everybody,
Yeah,
I just wanted
yeah.
to hit everybody fucking hard, that's like our mentality, and especially AK, like they was known for training sparring super fucking hard. So it's like every sparring session's 100%. You're
Oh,
like
shoot.
you're going there to like potentially knock your partners out.
Oh, damn.
Everybody's fucking going balls to the wall. And yeah, I mean after a while, after a few years of doing that, there I think I was like a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and like I decided like I just wanted to I like jiu-jitsu more, and that's when I started doing jiu-jitsu full time, and stopped doing MMA. Pretty much like I'd hit pads and stuff here and there, but like mostly focusing on jiu-jitsu, like and like it's weird because like I noticed like I had all those crew guys, the crew from the MMA crew, like they're like literally in a room next to me, and then I have the jiu-jitsu crew, and they kind of noticed me going over there more and
More.
stuff,
Oh, yeah.
but I mean it was all good, you do what you like, and I like doing jiu-jitsu more, so yeah.
Um,
I
what?
just remember once you telling me that you go there, you're already good, like the MMA guys. I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
Like you go there because you're already good. You don't go there to
Yeah.
get better.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so like AKA, I would say AKA is more about the training partners than it is the coaches. Besides like Leandro, but like as far as MMA, like there's some like main coaches like really, but they're gonna be focused more on like the top guys, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and there's not gonna be anybody that's like super high level that's gonna be holding pads for you, gonna be teaching you like you know like the intricate parts of kickboxing. So it's kind of was beneficial for me to have that start in Hollister with like that really like good kickboxing coach before I went there. So like in Hollister, like it's a smaller town, so there wasn't like a ton of training partners and a ton of high level training partners. But my kickboxing coach was phenomenal, man. He's still like one of the best kickboxing coaches I've ever had. And I got like because that was such a small gym, I got like a lot of one on one training with him. So I got a lot of um, technique, or my technique got higher from being there rather than being at AK starting. You know what I mean? Starting at AK, I would have been lost there. You know, there's like so many guys there, and it's hard to get that one on one training. But with Hollister, I got that one on one training and
Right.
focus on my technique. And there's some hard sparring days there for sure. Um, but AK was just definitely a different level. So when I went to AK, I already had that technical side to my kickboxing, at least to my stand up, before I went there. So
Mm-hmm.
like once I went into the training, I just more had to pick up the intensity on the sparring rather than like try to make up the technique, you know.
Right.
And like I saw a lot of guys like you know they're like training in the classes, and you can get somewhat technical, but you're gonna be I guess behind for a long time if you try to go into the sparring sessions with like the amateur team or any other,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the more serious sparring. Um, just because like everybody's so good and everybody's focused on their training, you know, they're gonna, you know, and like I said, they go hard, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
if you go there like not so good, you're gonna get you know knocked out for sure. I mean, there's one week I remember I still remember it now, and there was like every sparring session there was a guy that got knocked out, you know, and it's just like that kind of training.
Yeah.
You go in there with that mentality, knowing you're gonna try to knock somebody out and they're gonna try to knock you out, you know, and it's just like being in a room with like all those guys is just like a different feeling, you know. It's like it's fucking hot, you know, that you feel like the intensity, you know,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's pretty crazy going in there. I always think like there was one time like one of those knockouts was right before like I went into spar, you know. So it's like you know, guys getting knocked out,
You
you know,
see him.
face first, you know, and you know they're waiting for him to wake up and move out of the way so you can go spar. You know, it's like a
Yeah.
different type
So
of
does
feeling.
that get you hyped, or does that get you more
It gets
like?
you fucking hyped
Oh,
and
okay.
more fucking intense. You know,
Yeah. Well,
you
it
feel
gets you
like
focused, right?
yeah,
That's
you
for
feel like a
sure.
little more is on the line. You know,
Oh
you know.
no.
But,
Well, we had an injury right soon in jiu-jitsu, and
Yeah.
it made us like all it put us all down.
And then
If
they talked
anything,
to then they talked to us, and then there was another injury the next day.
yeah,
yeah. No, see, so
yeah,
hey, jiu-jitsu brought us down. If anything, like
yeah,
It's like,
it didn't
oh
hype us
man.
up.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
Well,
yeah.
you
Shit
feel
we weren't
happens,
bad,
hyped.
man.
yeah.
Yeah, we weren't hyped at that.
Yeah,
But
Shit
but
happens.
see if you get knocked out, you're like up in a couple minutes. If that injury,
Well,
like, you know,
that's
he's
true.
out for like like a month and a
8
half.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
8 weeks. Yeah.
minimum.
What was the injury? Do you guys know?
He broke his tibia.
Yeah.
Tibia.
Broke his
Oh,
tibia.
so he's probably gonna be out like 6 months at least. I'm
They
sure.
said recover. It was
Yeah,
just the
'cause it was
bone,
just
so
the
no,
one bone.
no injury to like his tendons.
Uh-huh.
So they put a rod. This from what I heard. Is put a rod and
Screws, right?
yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
screws.
probably
yeah,
like be good in like 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
yeah, it's his bone, so it should heal pretty quick. The muscle, right? He's not going to be using his leg for.
It was more of just like a freak accident, or
Yeah,
or did he not tap right
No,
away?
no, no,
Yeah.
I think it was an accident.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Shit happens. I mean,
Yeah,
in training
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I got
It's-
popped in the eye on Friday.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
People always say, you know, like jiu-jitsu and like stuff's good for your body and like trying to get in shape and this.
Well,
that.
it
I
is,
guess
you know,
your
like health-wise,
Yeah,
yeah,
your
you know.
cardiovascular system maybe, but like your joints and
Mm-hmm.
you know stuff are gonna take a beating. That's for sure.
But it's like I don't know, choose your sacrifice. You know, sit on the couch and let your body rot that way, or
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
get healthy and
There's
and
no
let your-
perfect answer.
There's
Right?
there's no perfect answer. You know, your
Yeah.
body. See, that's what I was thinking too. Back pain, right? So like everyone complains about back pain, right? So
But that's
we're-
just you getting older, dude. It's
exactly
not-
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. So like, is it from jujitsu or is it from us getting older? Is it a mixture of both?
Well, around like what 28, 29, your body stops reproducing cells or as fast as like you're losing them, and that's
Oh,
why
really?
there's like a decline.
Yeah, so see,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think we're like we're destined. I don't know the right word. We're gonna get back pain, right? I don't know.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know,
I
so it's
mean,
like being.
I think it's so new, you know, like it's very hard for even the doctors. Like, they're not going to give you a straight answer with your
No,
back
they're
pain.
not. Yeah.
I've seen like, you know, physical therapists. I've seen, you know, surgeons, you know, for my back and stuff, you know, and they're none of them are going to give you a straight answer. You
Right.
know, this kind of like you're going to do this for a while and you should get better. You know, you should, or stop
Right.
for
Right.
sure. You know, or then even
Yeah.
like with the surgeon, like, oh, we can do this, you know, dyskeptomy, but like it could help you, you know, could, you know, take away the pain, but it's never going to be a for sure thing. And then I think like if I could go back, because I personally I had two bulging discs when I was 24, 25 or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, and I think they were from jiu-jitsu. I know exactly the moment that
Oh,
it
okay.
happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was in MMA sparring and I
Mm-hmm.
shot a double leg on a guy. And right when I went from my knees to standing up to like start elevating him,
Uh-huh.
I felt a pull in my low back.
Ugh.
And ever since, and then like it just progressed more into like back stiffness and then like drop foot and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys are familiar with drop foot.
It just
No, I
what
have
happened? It
no
just
idea
goes
about that.
out.
So it's like basically that bulge was pinching the nerve, my sciatic nerve, so like sciatic nerve goes all the way to your foot. And so I lost most of the strength, like in the top of my foot and like my calf and my thigh, and like I got a bunch of, and it was all numb. So like I could poke it and stuff. So basically, I couldn't like lift my foot towards my knee.
Damn.
So and that's like a severe part of like bulging disc.
Bulging disc,
Yeah. So like I did physical therapy for a while and then I recovered. Or, you know, I somewhat recovered, but I was in like pain for a long time, dude. I would like I remember that time. So I would drill maybe here and there, but I would mostly go and watch jiu-jitsu. So like the whole time, like for like a year when I was a blue belt, I just go and watch jiu-jitsu. I go watch like, you know, my
Oh, when you were blue belt, so damn.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Damn,
I'd
this
watch.
was a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah, I'd watch like it was 9 years ago. 9 years ago, because I remember I recently, you know, aggravated again, and I had to go get my MRI from my original one. It was 9 years ago, and yeah, you know, it took me a long, long time to recover. I was taking ibuprofen every day, physical therapy, and yeah, I feel like it's never gonna be the same. I still have like the, you know, the strength came back and, you know, the numbness went away, but there's always still like tightness in my hamstring and tightness in my lower back a little bit, you know, and
Yeah.
then I'm gonna have flare ups here and there.
Yeah. I think we gotta go to Tijuana
Yeah, dude.
and get
Yeah,
some
Do the
stem
stem
cell.
cells.
Yeah, get
for
some
sure.
stem.
I'll
Yeah.
watch.
Hey, we'll go
Yeah.
together.
My
We can
back's
go.
still fine. Thank God.
Yeah, I'll
We'll
look
get some
into
for
it.
Fabian's face.
Yeah, you know, I wish if I'd known what I if I knew what I know
I'm gonna get an
now,
enlargement.
If you do what you do now.
I would do more I guess like physical therapy type exercises for my lower back to keep it you know, healthier. 'Cause that's something like when I started, I did almost like no like preventive injury or preventive like exercises like single leg squats and like single leg deadlifts and, you know, bridges and stuff like that to keep like your body, your muscles strong, like protecting your joints, you know, and stuff like that. I just wanted to train hard, you know, like I was training like 5-6 days a week, and it was all technique and, you know, it's live training, not very much, you know, strength training or anything like that, you know, or anything for my lower back, you know, and like this last like 3 or 4 months, I've been dealing with like a lot more back pain. It seems like a little more intense than it did that first time. So I did like 6 weeks of physical therapy, and this time like I'm a little more dedicated to like the physical therapy exercises and like doing them when I'm not there. I'm doing them all like 6-7 days a week right now, and it's like a slow progression, but I do notice like a lot less pain, a lot more mobility coming back. So if I feel like if I did that back then, I wouldn't have probably had this
As
issue
bad.
right. Yeah, it wouldn't be as bad right now.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, that's what I would have done, you know. But I mean, other than that back injury, I've never had like any like really knee injuries or shoulder injuries or like neck injuries.
You don't feel like your shoulders or anything, your elbows?
No.
'Cause I feel like my elbows, like tears in like my elbows, you know.
No,
and-
my shoulder's destroyed.
Really?
But that was before I started doing jiu-jitsu.
Oh,
though.
okay.
Yeah, because it sounds like I don't know who I showed. Like I like rotated my shoulder, and it sounds like it's just grinding.
What happened to your elbow, your shoulder?
I think just using it too much,
Using
like
it.
work and stuff like that. So
Yeah, no, I know from like my like the moments that my like elbows are all tore up and
Oh, this was like maybe like 4 years ago when it got really bad.
when it got really bad.
Yeah, because there's a pop, and then like now, like let's say I think there's like once in a while I won't go train because I can't lift my arm past my chest or higher than my chest. It gets like it flares up,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
that shit sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Luckily, I think for like those kind of surgeries, it shouldn't be too bad. It's like rotator cuff and
Yeah,
Yeah.
they told me
Those are
from what they
too bad.
told me, they're like you don't need surgery until you can't move it no more.
Yeah.
They're like as long as you can keep moving it and the flares go like the flare, it stops flaring. They're like you know you don't have to worry about surgery.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to get those shoulder surgery when I'm older. I feel the same.
I know
Yeah.
this one for sure and probably elbow.
That's what I'm hoping. Like,
shoulders are good?
Yeah, my shoulders
Yeah,
are good.
yeah.
Like, I've had like soreness
they
here and
are.
there, like tweaks, but nothing like serious, you know. And I just trained through them.
Yeah.
I think it's like a lot of guys are like softer now than they were back then, you know. Especially like at AK, and like everybody was like, you know, fucking train hard.
Yeah.
Train through injuries. You know, you have an injury, put more tape on it, and keep going. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah.
See, so
Nothing-
then what are your thoughts on like
I remember when I heard my ribs, you're like, you're like, I'll show you how to tape it up.
and he showed you how to tape it up?
No, I was out for like,
Yeah.
well, I was supposed to be out for like a month, but I came back in a week.
You guys just fucking around, giving you a hard time.
Yeah, he's like, nah, he's like, just put some tape on it.
Yeah.
There's some like new wave of training, right? Or like I think Tony Ferguson doesn't spar anymore or something like
Yeah.
that. What are your thoughts on that? You know, there's like some people that just don't spar hard anymore.
Yeah.
I think for him it's different though. Cause
John Jones. Yeah. No. Yeah.
and
Yeah,
they-
I think that's
'Cause
for sure beneficial because I mean, I think the thing that's gonna wear out is your chin. I mean, you see like a lot of older guys, like
Right.
eventually like guys with iron chins.
Oh,
like,
Chuck Liddell.
Eventually,
Yeah.
just
Perfect
start getting
example.
you know
Giles.
touch. You know, these guys used to take huge
Marquand.
shots, and then now they're taking you know just a regular shot.
Yeah,
and
you
they're,
can't train
know,
that,
they're,
dude.
They're
Yeah.
asleep, you know, and it's yeah, and I think it's longevity too. You know, you don't want to be a fucking
Right.
vegetable when you're 50, 60 years old, you know?
Yeah. There's
So-
definitely a balance, right? It has to be like a balance. Maybe when you're
yeah,
younger,
for sure.
you probably go a little bit harder, but as you get older and you get your technique, like your
Yeah.
technique, how much better is your
the
technique?
thing
gonna
that freaks me out is when they talk because you can see how they like slur words now and stuff like that.
get? Like the Diaz
yeah.
brothers. Damn. the
Yeah.
Diaz.
It's fucking
They're,
terrible.
yeah, they're not as sharp anymore.
It's like some of these guys, like their good chin is like their worst enemy because they, you know, they rely
That's
on it.
true.
And they end up getting
Yeah.
taking all this damage like throughout
Yeah.
their career and like you see guys like Muhammad Ali. You know, he used to be so technical and like, you know, like the Floyd Mayweather, you could barely hit him. You know, but then like you see like in like the George Foreman fight where you can see where he could take a shot. And he started relying on it. He took a beating to beat that guy. You know,
Yeah.
What do you put his body through?
Well, so there was that fight, right? That he was like wasn't the same after that.
Yeah,
Like,
I think so.
it's
But like you know, he found out he can take a good shot, and you know, is like his worst enemy. You know, look what happened to him. Like, 'cause and not to say that wouldn't have happened to him, but
right.
I mean, you can see that there. Like, he eventually start relying more on his chin in like those later fights, and a lot less on his footwork and movement. You know.
I had a friend who said like they were afraid of CTE.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, but like they were like, I was like, dude, I did football and wrestling. I was like, I'm not scared of it. You just do jiu-jitsu. You're gonna be fine. Like,
Oh,
like
don't be,
jiu-jitsu?
right? Yeah, it's
For
just
jiu-jitsu?
jiu-jitsu. I was like, dude,
No,
you're not gonna get
no,
CTE, dude. You're
no,
all right.
definitely
Yeah,
not, man. Not for
yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
yeah. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I rarely get hit like hard in the head, and I've been doing it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean,
8
maybe if
months.
you guys are doing like a lot of takedowns, I think you know.
But even then, I don't think like
Yeah, no.
wrestling
Yeah.
TT.
Yeah. No, not at all.
The only thing I
Right,
can think of
right.
is like if you get like
Yeah.
hit with like a double and then hit the back of your head, but you got to just know how
Yeah.
to go
Yeah.
down.
Definitely.
Sometimes you just got to accept it and try to.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's one of the reasons that like, you know, there's a lot of reasons why I left MMA, you know, but that was one of the reasons too.
Right.
You know?
No, for sure.
I feel like my I guess sharpness mentally was like one of the, or my mind in general was like one of the reasons why like I was, I guess, okay at jiu-jitsu, you know, is being able to figure out these concepts and all that stuff and like and just figuring out problems, you know. It's like high level or high paced problem solving in jiu-jitsu, right? And I mean, if your mind starts to slow down, then your jiu-jitsu is going to start to slow down, you know. And I want to like
Right.
you know focus more of that energy on jiu-jitsu and not have to worry about you know having somebody wipe my ass when I'm 60 years old.
Right,
not
no,
being able to
that-
wipe my own
yeah,
ass.
yeah.
Yeah, but
dude.
see, if your mind is gone, like, do you really care about someone wiping your ass?
Yeah, I
That's
guess.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
either get hit really hard or don't get
Yeah.
hit at all.
Yeah.
Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying, baby?
yeah.
What are your thoughts on like MMA schools and like I see like they don't start off with a discipline, it's just straight to MMA. What are your thoughts on that? Could that
Uh,
work?
like, yeah. I mean, I guess it's
'Cause
your. You have to. It really depends on your goal. I mean, not everybody's trying to be a world champion. If you're trying to be a world champion,
I'm talking about world champion.
World champion?
Will starting off in MMA make you a world champion?
make you a world
I
champion.
think we're still
wrestle
pretty.
first. I think.
See, that's
You
what I'm saying. That
you
like
wrestle first. Maybe
you start
do a
all
little,
you start off on these other
little
disciplines
bit of
first.
jujitsu. Maybe like I think yeah. Start wrestling early. Start wrestling early. Maybe a little jiu-jitsu later on. As I think it's funny, jiu-jitsu guys they're just too comfortable going on their back, you know. And and wrestling it's gonna teach you to want to be on top all the time. You know, always even it's gonna stop you. Even if you think about jiu-jitsu, you're not gonna want to get swept. You're not gonna get taken down. You're gonna be a guard passer. You're gonna be on top. You know, especially MMA, like you don't want to be on your back ever. You know, and
Right.
like even at AK, like when comes to MMA, it's like you're not playing guard on your back. You know, you're finding your frames to stand up, to get back up to your feet.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I'm going to sit there and play close guard or, half guard. You know, I'm trying to stand up, and then it's like, because on the reverse end, in MMA, you want to be, when you're on top, you're not really trying to like submit everybody. You want to control them, like put them in positions where you can keep them there so you can keep on putting damage, keep on ground and pounding.
Right.
You know, you don't like in jiu-jitsu, you don't want to be really on top in half guard, but in MMA you do. You know, you want to stay in half guard. You want to stay there because it's like you're controlling. You're on top of the guy's hips. You're on top of his upper body.
Right.
As long as you have your underhook, the underhook on top, then you can continue to put damage. You know, keep your forehead in his chin and just continue to pepper him. You know, and then that's I think by doing wrestling first, it's gonna make you. Your subconscious is always going to want to be on top,
Well, Joe Rogan says like if you're like wrestlers dominate because they choose whether to keep it on the ground or stay keep it standing. you know?
Yeah,
That's
for
why I
sure.
think that's the first. But see, like that's the thing is like if you start with MMA, how much will you focus on wrestling? How much will you focus on?
So what you're saying is
jiu-jitsu?
like, you don't.
all these top guys start from a discipline that's not MMA.
I think
So-
I think it's just too much to learn all at once too.
No, it's true,
Every
yeah.
one of those sports is like super high level, right? They have super high levels to
Right,
them, right?
uh-huh.
And if like, how can you be good at all three of them, trying to focus on all three of them at once, right?
Right, yeah.
But if you do wrestling for, let's say you start wrestling at 6, right? If you wrestle till you're 14 without doing anything else, you already have 7 years experience. That's you have a huge advantage on everybody else, and maybe you can start doing a little bit of jiu-jitsu then. A couple years of jiu-jitsu. You're 16, 17. You already have a really good wrestling base, and then you start having a pretty good, decent jiu-jitsu base. And if you have that wrestling base, your jiu-jitsu is going to come on faster, right?
Right.
You're going to understand that, and then you start doing. You can focus on kickboxing, and then you'll be pretty high level at most of those,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that will take you farther because then you're not going to take damage from the kickboxing, right out the gate, so you can already, like, I think it's easier to get good at striking than it is to get good at jiu-jitsu or wrestling.
I can see that.
Because it's like anybody can throw a punch, dude. Anybody can throw a punch, but like I feel like wrestling and kickboxing, they take more day in day out grinding to get good at them. Like it takes a lot more to understand the balance and the pressure, and I think it takes a little bit longer than kickboxing for sure. Because like it's if you think about it, it's like once you get your footwork down and your movement down a little bit in striking, it's almost all the techniques are very similar. Right?
Is that why you said it's very repetitive?
Very repetitive, yeah, very repetitive.
So let's say if you were like building a kid, so you would do wrestling and then some jiu-jitsu and then striking.
Yeah, definitely. And I think another good side of wrestling too is the mental strength that it builds. I have done, even MMA, I've done no-gi grappling, gi, obviously did a lot of gi, kickboxing, MMA, and wrestling practice. Wrestling practice is by far the hardest practice of all the practices. I would rather spar for 2 hours than wrestle for 30 minutes, dude.
Right.
Without a doubt, it's harder. It's just works different muscle. It's that explosive, like pushing and pulling. That's just gonna get you more tired, and it's more of a mental battle than it is any of those other trainings.
You know, I read something that said that wrestlers are the world's most unhealthiest athletes because they don't get to eat. They're training like with like very little water
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a different aspect, but yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
They're
it's
just
Well,
like
cool.
they're
builds mental
they're running
toughness,
on
dude.
zero, and
I
they're
think-
still like crazy.
Yeah, I
what
think
they
they're
do.
changing a lot of like the rules now in school, right? Like of how much they can cut. And
Yeah,
stuff
my
like
year
that.
they implemented the hydration test.
Yeah.
So that was my year, my freshman year they implemented
Yeah.
that.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I think like growing up, like you probably saw a little bit, but there was like kids that were like fucking killing themselves.
Yeah, no, like
during the
literally the
week,
year
yeah, they
before,
had-
like the heavyweight, they made the heavyweight drop down to 215s. I can't remember his first name, but he's a Zeldadon. They made him go from heavyweight to 215s,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like 20, 40 pounds, somewhere. I can't remember the exact number, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
So he slept inside of the wrestling room. Like literally didn't go home.
Oh my
Didn't
God.
go home. So
Yeah.
he was just running, sweating, slept inside the wrestling and with
Not
the heater
eating
on.
Would he sleep under the mat?
No, I'm pretty sure he just. I don't know the whole
Okay,
details.
because I know
right?
some people like sleep
Yeah.
under the mat.
But he slept inside of
Yeah.
the wrestling room just to make that weight, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't do that now.
Yeah,
You know,
I think there's a limit
you can't
to it
do
for
you
sure.
can't do that now, right? And
Yeah.
especially in high
There-
school, right?
I think there's like a point where it becomes detrimental. You know. Like,
yeah.
Like all the like I think the training is hard enough, you know, but all those other aspects having to suffer like that, you know, is especially at like a kid's age, you know, when they're growing and stuff.
Yeah.
This is gonna be detrimental to his growth, like long term, his recovery and stuff
Right,
like that.
right.
And we're learning now like how important recovery is to your training.
Mhm.
You know, and when I first came or started training, it was always like you spar like you want to fight. That's how you get your cardio to like fight level, and that's like nonsense now. You know, like nobody fucking does that really. There's very few gyms that do that. You know,
Right.
where they're learning like you don't have to kill yourself in the gym to be good in the fight, because that's how it was. Is like before it was like kill yourself in the gym so your fight would be easy. You know, and it's like it would fucking spar like all these different rounds, a lot of rounds, but with a fresh guy on you every round. If you have a
Right.
fight, like, you know,
Yeah.
you spar one round with one guy, another guy comes in fresh, and you're fucking gassed, and you're getting tired, and like another guy's fresh, and he's gonna go hard on you too.
Like
you
a
know?
Shark Tank.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much in MMA, but that's what we did. That's because that's what we all knew, and we all thought it was the right way.
Right.
But then you look at all these guys that are fucking, you know, beat up and, you know, lost their chin and stuff like that. Now it's different, you know. You see, like I think the star one you can see that's like an example for the new way is Demetrius Johnson. I don't know if you guys know Mighty Mouse.
I know.
He's on one championship. isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's on
Now
one
he's-
championship.
now he's in one
but
championship.
yeah, for a long time he wasn't sparring, I think, and he does like a lot of high intensity like pad work and stuff like that. And I don't know if he even spars at all, but like he's like closer to 40, and he's still doing well. You know.
Yeah, he is. Didn't
he
he
just
just
knock someone out?
Yeah,
like a
that
knee?
fucking knee, beautiful
Yeah,
knee
beautiful.
timing and everything was like perfect, you know. And it's like he's already had a full career, you know. He's already had like I would say over a decade worth of fights, and he's still doing well. You know, he's still not. I don't know how old the guy was, but he was the champion. I'm pretty sure that he just knocked out. And
Yeah, I
it's
think
like,
so. I think yeah.
Yeah, and you see like that, it's like, you know, he's at the highest level doing that, and he's doing that kind of training. You know, that not hard sparring and focusing more on technique type of stuff. And so his chin's there, and obviously his reflexes are there. And I think that's the main thing is like the reflexes, like being there. You know, because if your mind starts slowing down, you know, you're gonna get hit more. You know, and you're gonna miss those opportunities to hit the other person or go for that takedown or find that submission. You know. So I mean, he's like the perfect example for that, I think.
You know, it's funny. Somebody from my work brought him up, and I was like, yeah, he's still fighting. And then
Yeah.
like I showed him that video, and he was like, damn, he's still really fucking good.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to think how new MMA still is, you know?
Right.
Yeah, it's a young sport.
Yeah,
What,
that's what I'm
30
saying.
30
like,
years?
We had like, will there be somebody to come up who just strictly stuck to MMA? You know, who like started from MMA.
I think that's how the majority of the guys are now.
Right. See,
Yeah. So I think the level's higher now, but there's not as many standout guys as there was before.
Right.
You know, you had like the GSPs and like the Anderson Silvas, like the Chuck Liddells, like those higher level guys that just stood out, like they dominated their divisions, like John Jones and stuff. But John Jones was a fucking phenomenal wrestler, right?
Right, yeah,
he was a phenomenal wrestler. So it's
so
like
it's gonna be weird to see how the sport transitions.
yeah, instead of being good, like I say pretty high level at everything, you have like that one specialty, and you're still pretty good at everything else. Like he's still good at striking,
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good at
yeah,
striking,
yeah.
pretty good at grappling. You know,
That's what I'm saying. Do you think that will change?
I don't think so. I think that's what makes them
I,
special.
I think so too.
I think that's what makes them special is they
yeah.
have that one area that they specialize in, like Adesanya. He's
Kickboxer, world
world champion kickboxer.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
See,
why
all
he
these guys,
dominates
yeah.
people, you know.
Yeah.
And then you look at like the light heavyweight division, like it's already changed hands like how many times because there's no one's like very specialized in everything. They're just pretty good at everything, you know.
Right.
So you get another guy who's pretty good at everything, but he's just a little bit better at one thing, and then they lose. You know, they're not like dominating everybody.
What about
Yeah.
like Charles Oliveira? Because that dude is just
Dude, it's high level
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu, right?
fucking
That's-
high
Because
level
sometimes he's
jiu-jitsu.
getting like knocked out, and then
Yeah.
out of nowhere he'll finish the
okay,
fight.
Okay, I think some of that has to do with performance enhancing drugs. I personally think because this is a guy that's been knocked out like 7 or 8 times just in the UFC, or maybe more, I think, and he's been knocked out. Right, and then all of a sudden he has a flip in his career where he's not getting knocked out anymore.
Didn't he switch like his striking gym and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I mean, is that going to make your chin come back
Right.
and make you ultra aggressive and ultra sharp?
True.
I don't know.
Yeah, because he lost what, like 14 times? Or something
Yeah,
crazy like
yeah, you know, and like again, this comes with that punishment thing, dude. Like, there's, I mean, it's
Only so much you can
what
take.
how do you get your chin back? Like, what is he doing in training that's bringing his chin back?
That's suspicious.
You know what I mean? I mean, personally,
Sus.
that's what I think. You know, it's like you never know. You know, you never know, and it's like only those guys know and his coaches know,
Right.
especially like with how well like performance enhancing or how well tricking the tests are getting. You know, it's always been like that.
Right.
Right? It's
No,
always
there's
been-
gonna be cheating.
There's
cycle out.
always somebody trying to
Yeah.
figure out a way to beat the system.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's always, you know.
Yep.
And then I think, like, look at T.J. Dillashaw, how phenomenal he was. He was pretty good, but then he got so much better than everybody, you know, and then he gets popped, you know, and it's like, I mean, but we only popped him for EPOs, right? I mean, he obviously knew EPOs was on the list, but I mean, what else is he taking throughout?
Like
his career?
Canelo and the tainted meat.
Yeah, boxing's a little different because there's fucking almost no testing, and I think they even in their contracts, like they have to like put it in their contract that there's going to be testing, and I think they just have like a piss test before their fight,
Yeah,
so
so
they're
they
not
just-
training you out through
yeah.
training and stuff, so you can cycle and
Yeah,
that's-
you'll be clean.
Yeah, I think if you're in the industry, it's fucking easy to they know the formula to do to like make themselves clean during the test, you know.
Well, what's it called? Russia found a way to like, was it Russia or China?
Yeah, it's
They
Russia.
found a way
Yeah.
to like break
Open
the
it,
Yes.
open it without
Open
breaking
the
it.
seals,
Yeah, open
yeah,
it,
and then
yeah,
like
yeah.
changing the blood or
Yeah.
the piss, and then
Yeah.
they had like a little
Fuck
hole.
Yeah, yeah.
It's almost for Russia. I think it's like almost hard to like. I think there's less guys clean in that it's in their Olympics and their athletes. There's less athletes that are clean than there is on steroids.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
But yeah, I think for sure for Charles Oliveira.
It's up
Don't
there.
get me wrong. He's fucking
Right,
phenomenal.
he's gonna- yeah,
fucking
yeah.
phenomenal. His jiu-jitsu is like it's so different than like I think we all do sports jiu-jitsu and we're in sport jiu-jitsu like we're so focused on winning the fight where there's points most of the time it's going to be points, you know. We're almost like we want to submit the guy but ultimately we want to win the fight, so a lot of the times we're going to be ahead on points and secure that win for most guys, right? Especially on the highest levels. Like you don't want to make any errors once you score a point, so they're more focused on scoring the points and winning the fight that way. But Charles Oliveira is focused solely on submitting the fight, pretty much, right? As soon as he's clinched up, he's thinking about the submission. He's going into position to submit right away, like an instant. That's why you see so many fast submissions. And even throws like higher level jiu-jitsu guys off guard is because, they're more thinking about avoiding the next point scored on him. And we're already thinking about submitting.
Submitting.
And that's why he's so different.
What do you think about PEDs in ADCC?
What is there to say?
I
Everybody's
don't
on PEDs.
Yeah,
There's
dude. Should they take it away? Should they do more testing?
Um,
Or do we like it the way it is
I
right
think,
now?
I think there's. I don't think there's one right answer. I think it's for the honest guys. Like, yeah, I've never taken any PEDs, and I think for me has always been like an ego thing, where like I would always know that I cheated. I would always felt like whatever I got,
Yeah.
like it wasn't all to do with me and my mental strength and my capabilities, and that's just me, right? And some people are like, I want to be the best that I can and like take whatever I can because like everybody else is doing it. And like I get that, but for me, like it's an ego thing. But as far as a spectator thing, it's fucking phenomenal.
Right,
To
isn't
watch
it?
guys like
I was
Gordon
like, yeah, I was
Ryan
thinking, do I really want them to test? I don't know,
juice to
like,
his gills and just completely,
Like traps to the ears and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, and let's be honest, so is Andre Galval. I mean, his fucking
yeah,
traps
he's
versus
like
Yeah,
fucking
40,
ears,
like,
like you
right?
said.
He's
Yeah,
like 40, right? He's like 40?
yeah, 40 or something, and and it's
Looks like
it's
an 80s
fucking
like
it's
wrestler or
yeah.
something.
I think it's what's like bringing at least the Nogi side to the next level because a long fucking time the Nogi side was kind of like that sister of
The
jiu-jitsu that nobody
stepchild,
even wanted. Like we trained at the end of the year because Nogi Worlds is always at the end of the year. And like none of us are going to fucking ADCC. There's only like 10 guys in your division that are going, or 12 guys in your division that are going to ADCC.
Now it's crazy big.
Yeah, so it's like for me and like 99% of guys who jiu-jitsu, like it was like gi, it was always up until like July, August, and then after that you get ready for Nogi Worlds, and Pan Nogis is like towards the end of the year. So it's like kind of like that shitty part of jiu-jitsu that like, oh, okay, now we got to start doing Nogi at the very end of the year. Like we don't really want to, but those are like the big tournaments now, and it's like for sure Gordon Ryan brought it to that other level. And I don't think it was just him. I think it was also the new promoters for ADCC because like dude, they were having it in like fucking China and like I don't know these off the wall
Dubai
European countries
Yeah,
that
it's kinda hard
we're
to get
never
there.
gonna go to, and it's gonna be a weird hour if we're not gonna watch it. There's no. I mean, I don't know how many people over there watch it, but their spectators were like, if you look at the old ones, there's like barely anybody in the crowds and shit.
Yeah,
And so now like the new promoters are Flow Grappling wasn't around as much back then, and but I mean I still watch ADCC. I mean Marcelo Garcia is still one of my favorite to watch, is all time, like guys like that, and so I think the combination of having those promotions and guys like Gordon Ryan and like these phenomenal new athletes, like everybody's so good, dude. Everybody's so fucking good.
right.
Like you got even at the lower divisions, you got guys like the Rotolo brothers, fucking phenomenal,
Crazy.
dude.
Yeah.
Fucking so good.
Cole Abate.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Yeah.
But I think once he gets to those older age, he's gonna be the top guy. He's just fucking young. But like Ty Rotolo, Cade Rotolo,
Yeah, those guys are.
Mika Galval, fucking phenomenal, dude. Yeah, I mean, just top to bottom, even like the females. Like, we didn't watch female jiu-jitsu before. Like, we watched the finals maybe at the World Championships, like, because we had to.
Right.
but now it's like fucking, they're exciting.
Yeah,
dude.
some good ones. Yeah, for sure.
You're like Maya Bastos and like Fionn Davies. Like,
Yeah.
all those girls are so good. They're like at the level that Guy Jiu-Jitsu was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Not to knock them or anything, but that's just what it was. There's not as many competitors, and now they're getting up there too. But yeah, ADCC is up there now for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people like they have that I think Gordon Ryan says too is like his gi jiu-jitsu's dead and like gi's the future, whatever, it's the one. I personally disagree. I think for me as a spectator, I don't know if it's just that I like watching gi jiu-jitsu more. I find I enjoy watching gi jiu-jitsu more than some of these ADCC matches. You're seeing some of these ADCC matches, the guys are just fucking standing and clubbing each other for 20 fucking minutes. You know what I mean? It's like nothing going on. Like you see this absolute champion this year. I think he scored by like 2.
That
he
was
won
pretty
like,
garbage. Yeah.
Yeah, he scored like 2
Yeah.
points his whole fucking run.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, dude, that's like.
Yeah.
It's like boring ass wrestling. Like I'd rather watch a wrestling match than that. Where they're
Yeah,
actually gonna be
that
takedowns.
is true.
You know what I mean? And it has to do with the point system too.
Yeah, the rule set.
Yeah, the rule set, but it's harder to control in no-gi.
I think it depends on the person too, because I liked all of Gordon Ryan's matches.
Yeah.
I liked all of
He's fucking
Nicky Rod.
Yeah,
Nicky Rod. Like
Nicky
there
Rod
like
was
there was some
good.
really good matches. All the lightweights are all pretty
yeah,
good.
the lightweights were phenomenal. Mika Gavales, he's a guy I watch a lot just because he's kind of like that Charles Oliveira. He's got he can win on points, but a lot of times he's submitting these guys.
Who did he lose to?
He lost to the Rotolo brother. I think it was
that's
Ty,
right, yeah.
the finals.
Yeah.
He just made like a mistake.
Straight ankle lock, bro.
Yeah, it was I think
Or
he put his He was inverting, and I think he was like
Put his foot in between the leg, right, or something like that.
Yeah, and it's just a simple mistake.
Those guys have like a crazy gas tank. They're like,
the Rotolo brothers.
yeah, they're just 100%
fucking
all the
phenomenal.
time.
They've been so good since they were little kids.
They're little kids.
I remember when I started, they were like, I don't know, probably like 7 or 8. You know,
Yeah.
and they're like yellow belts and stuff, and they're already sponsored by Show Your Roll. You know, and it's like fuck, these kids are phenomenal.
Well, they have each other. I think that's what's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what's good.
it's
Yeah,
always
they
having like
have
a
each
training
other.
partner
Yeah,
that's
always
like the
having a
same
training
weight,
partner.
same size.
Yeah, and a lot of it's like having phenomenal coaches. They've had phenomenal coaches like throughout their whole career.
They were at AOJ, and then
Yeah.
then-
I think they were. From what I remember, I'm pretty positive they were checkmat first. I think, and they actually trained with my professor for a little bit, Leandro, and then I think they went to AOJ, and then now they're with Andre Gaval.
Okay.
I think as they got like older, bigger, like the AJ's kind of smaller guys, and like eventually they got bigger and they went to Atos, and they're just bigger guys there, harder training partners, more higher level training partners, I would say.
Yeah.